I personally, I love cinnamon roll. My wife loves cinnamon roll. That's why she married me, because of cinnamon rolls. I am by birth I am Taiwanese, but I'm more Canadian than I am Taiwanese because
Gotcha.
I've raised in Toronto,
Yep.
Canada. I mean, I studied there. I did most of my professional training in the hospitality, also in Toronto as well. Some in the States. So I'm more Western than I am Taiwanese.
While we are on the topic of the market, how do you determine your market and what they want? Because obviously in the baking industry, it's quite a vast industry.
Man, I personally, I love cinnamon roll. My wife loves cinnamon roll. That's why she married me, because of cinnamon rolls. But I wasn't sure how the Taiwanese market would react to my cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
However, when we started, it was a niche market. I mean, it still is. Cinnamon roll, as big as it is now, is still a niche market compared to a lot of other breads out there. When we started, it was even smaller, and we were lucky enough to capture the niche of the niche market.
Okay.
And then we did that very well. I think our flavors connected with the customers at the time.
Yeah.
Of course, there weren't much selection at the time. So it was like me and a few other, you can count with two hands, basically, that were selling cinnamon rolls.
Wow.
So we started small and we tweaked as we went along
Okay.
and just listening to feedbacks, because we used to put a lot of cream cheese on our cinnamon roll because that's how we liked it.
Okay.
Growing up in Toronto, right? And even the States, it's just loaded with icing sugar and cream cheese, right?
Yes,
it's like
yes, yes.
frosting. But the Taiwanese people didn't like that. They said that it was too rich, too sweet. It was just they can't finish it, right? So we reduced the cream cheese. That was the one thing that I did. Slowly, we just kept listening to what the customers wanted, and we tweaked along the way. But some things we still have to hold true to ourselves, to the product. Like the texture of our cinnamon rolls.
Yes.
It's very American.
Okay.
Meaning that it's not very Taiwanese in the bun texture.
Understood.
Taiwanese people like very soft, very soft bun, like the pineapple bun, or like the red bean bun.
Yes.
So if you make a bread in those textures, there's a high chance of you being successful. You'll hit the mass audience. But for us, if our cinnamon roll becomes the Taiwanese bread texture, then it becomes more of a Taiwanese bread with cinnamon. Okay.
Understood. Yeah.
So that's one thing different about our texture. It's very American, and it has more of a bite to it.
Okay.
And we stuck with that, and customers realize the difference, right? They know when they eat our cinnamon rolls, they're getting that texture and not just a regular traditional bread bun.
Do you feel there's local Taiwanese are more inclined nowadays to try out new things, Western style things, and adopting and accepting the new taste?
Chinese people are very curious, in my opinion, and they always want to try something new, and they welcome new foods.
Yeah.
I think the issue is, can the customers sustain your business on a regular basis? Or is it just like a one-time thing?
Yes.
Right? It's like they want to try, they try once, that's it. That may be it.
Yes.
Or can they say, oh, this is something that I really like. I can come back once a week or twice a week.
How do you navigate that? Because that's a very risky thing to do, especially somebody starting out, they're bootstrapping. You can only trial and error so many times.
When you do business, you need to have a lot of capital, right? I wouldn't start a business with very tight capital at hand, right? You need to have enough reserve for the burn rate, right?
Yeah.
To sustain the business. I know a lot of businesses, they have a burn rate of like 5 years, right? Because they're doing something so new.
Yeah.
Don't start something without enough capital reserve,
Yeah.
to sustain for at least a year or two.
At least a year or two.
So one thing to keep, I guess, that visitation frequency is having new products constantly, or variations and spin-off of a product, right? And see what sells.
Okay.
And really see what sells.
Do you feel you have to reinvent your products continuously, or you've got your mainstay products that remain the same and you've add some seasonal products on the side?
Yeah. So we have our star product, which is the cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed. It has been improved with better and better ingredients. Sugar, we change it to Japanese sugar.
Okay.
Which is not as dead sweet, is more floral sweet.
Oh, nice.
We use fermented butter.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, we use fermented butter.
Oh, you're giving away your secret sauce here.
Yeah, well, I would say anything I bake with, I would use fermented butter. And that's not popular in the States. Fermented butter it just has
Yes.
more flavor. But then things with like flour, we can't always change it, because when you change flour, it's such a major component that it changes the whole texture of it. So things that we can improve on, we will improve on in terms of taste and just like the quality of it.
Yeah.
But the cinnamon roll itself, we don't really, it's not gonna, we don't change so much of it, but we do add surrounding products to it to make it more interesting. Yeah, like toppings.
Let's dive a bit into the economics of setting up a bakery. Okay, so a lot of folks, they start off by baking some really nice brownies. Everyone just loves it.
Yeah.
So they do it from home, and there comes a point where it's like, okay, they want to step it up to a proper physical store. What does it take to set up a store like what you have? I mean, this is a very nice place.
It doesn't take much for your store to look nice. You need to have a vision,
Yes.
and you should find a designer, okay, who connects with your vision. Layout, I mean, the storefront design is the easy part. Making things efficient and making things flow in the back end of the kitchen, that's the most difficult part.
What does it take to set up a functional kitchen baking area for a shop like this?
Functional kitchen area.
Because that must also cost quite a lot.
Yeah. So it depends what you're baking. You need to figure out, under this baking category, are you going towards bread? Are you going towards desserts? If you're good enough, you can do both quite well with a very generic setup of ovens and mixers and things like that. But if you are looking to go into a very specific product and making it extremely well, then you need to have very specific machines that can perform at that level of quality. So if I was a restaurant and I wanted to bake my own bread, your focus would not be the bread itself. Baking fresh bread at a restaurant is just an added service, added value, added, like, I guess, attentive care for your customer.
Gotcha.
But bread is not gonna be the
mainstay.
Right. So you can, in that case, a generic oven would be fine. But if you're gonna open a bakery selling bread,
artisan bread,
then that oven would need to always perform top notch with high production value, high consistency, and
reliability.
Right, and the function will have to be focused on breads.
What staffing needs do you have?
I think a bakery would at least need 3 bakers in the back. Okay.
Working shifts
all
working together?
All at once.
Okay.
Yeah, for it to be a stable business. Okay, if you have just one baker, it's very dangerous. If that baker is injured or hurts, then that's it. You can't produce anymore, right? Then you have nothing to sell.
Yeah.
If you have 2 bakers, it's better.
Okay.
But it's still very dangerous. Okay, because
workload is still a lot.
It's still a lot, and also there's usually one experienced baker and one less experienced baker. So the less experienced baker is just 2 extra hands, right? When you have 3 in the kitchen, then if the head baker goes down or is out for a few days, you have two other bakers, although they may not be as experienced, but at least they can help each other out to get some products out there. Okay. So having extra hands helps a lot, but you need to have enough, 2 or 3, at least 2 or 3 bakers in the back to actually produce a variety of breads, right?
Understood.
If you just have one baker, you can only focus on maybe 2 or 3 items.
A very small product line,
Very small product line, but with the right equipment, even with 1 or 2 bakers, you can still pump volume.
Okay.
It's just very small SKU.
Yes.
Right? Maybe 2 or 3 products, 4, right?
Okay, so in the baking kitchen, you've got three staff.
Yeah.
Front of a house?
We have 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
Yeah. That's because front of the house, we have 3 to 4 because we are not self-serve.
Okay.
Yeah, we are a serviced bakery.
Okay.
So when customers come in, they don't need to pick their own breads and bag it. We do everything for them.
Wow. Okay. And then admin staff?
Admin staff, we have 2.
2.
Yeah.
And then your wife also involved in the business?
So if you add my wife, it would be 3 admin staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 7, we've got 10, nearly 11 staff already. Any delivery drivers or?
We outsource delivery for now.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's feasible. And you can always find, third-party delivery companies to negotiate a contract with them, right?
Yeah.
Until you get to a point where delivery is very consistent and very big.
And you've got the volume.
We do have the volume for delivery.
Okay.
But the issue is that we deliver to so many spots in a day that one driver cannot do it.
Understood.
Right?
Understood.
So we have multiple drivers that we outsource. Right? So like Lala Move is one.
Yeah.
And just other third-party delivery platforms that help us deliver.
So this is for one shop. You've got 11 full-time staff plus contractors.
Well, I would say full-time staff, we have about half. So like 6 full-time staff.
Okay.
And 4 to 5 part-time.
Part-time staff,
Yeah, part-time staff. But part-time staff are pretty much working full-time hours as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically just to try and to get people to understand the economics of how much it costs. It's the startup costs.
Yeah.
If you could give a ballpark figure of how much would somebody need to set up a shop, the premises, the equipment, getting ready, the amount of cost that will go in until the day that they open the shop door.
So I'll give 2 numbers. Okay, one is the bare minimum.
Yep.
And one is the average. So I would say you need at least $1 million in equipment. At least.
Yeah, that's just the baking equipment.
Baking equipment.
We're not even getting to shop fitment and fixtures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things like air conditioning.
Yeah.
Okay. So air conditioning for a 10 ping.
Yeah.
You're looking at around 50 to 60,000.
Yep.
At least for a 10 ping. Okay. And that's if it's an enclosed area.
Yeah.
If your door is constantly opening and stuff, you may need to bump up the AC power.
Yep.
So you might look at like 80 to 90 even, and 1,000 NT for one that can keep up with the heat intensity, right?
Yes.
So I would say 1.5 million to start a very basic, small size, 10 to 15 ping bakery. And that is without renovation.
So roughly say about 2.5 million somebody need cash in hand. Because remember, you still need to put down your deposit to 3 months deposit on commercial properties, plus a month rent.
Yeah.
that can be quite significant.
Yeah.
So you need at least 2.5-3 million just for the setup costs.
So let's say if your setup is 3 million,
Yep.
you need to have in reserve. Okay, so 3 million is equipment to get everything started up.
Yep.
Okay, and in this time, okay, in this state of age, right now, 3 million, if you can open a bakery and under 3 million, you've done your homework.
Yeah.
You've did well. Like, kudos to you, man. But even with 3 million, okay, you should have a cash flow. Oh, not cash flow. You should have reserve.
Yeah.
Okay.
A runway.
About half of that.
Yeah, because so on that note, I mean, it's like monthly running costs for a business like this.
Yeah.
So basically, you've got 6 full-time staff, each going at approximately say 40,000 NT.
Yeah, we can say that 40,000 or
These are just ballpark figures.
Yeah.
So about 40,000 NT each. So that's nearly 250 already, just monthly. Then you've got your rent, which is probably another 80 to 100.
Yeah.
80 to, let's say 100,000. You've got bills, expenses. Your electricity must be pretty steep.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would electricity? I've got no figure on what it would run for a bakery.
At least over 20,000.
Okay.
Okay. And maybe under, I would say under 40,000.
Okay.
Okay. So the high 20s to low to just under 40, right? Now, if you go over 40, which is not unheard of, then you're running a much bigger operation. Then that electricity is not your concern anymore. Like electricity fee, if it's over 40,000, then that's
then your output should, in theory, be higher.
Right. Yeah. Labor, as people say, should take up about 25 to 35.
Okay. Of your expenses.
Food costs, if you can keep it under 25, that's really good. But usually it's about like 25 and over 35.
Yeah.
Okay, 35 is quite high. But with food costs going up, it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if you're averaging around 30 to 35 at food costs.
Wow.
Okay, I wouldn't be.
Is that now ingredients and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rent's technically around like 10 to 15%.
Okay.
Okay. And then miscellaneous and all the other stuff, another 10 to 15%. Okay. So that's 30 plus 30 plus 25.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what you're left with very little.
So basically work out more or less a 15% profit margin.
If you have 15% profit margin, you're doing really well.
Wow, so this is really in volume that you have to pump out. Well, you've also got business expenses, CPAs, legal fees,
so
licenses.
So usually we add another 20,000 to it. So looking at around 420,000 in expenses now.
Yeah.
So you're left with like 80,000. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that's pretty good.
Wow.
If you're left with 80,000, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it's roughly 50, just under 15%.
So it's a lot of work and big risk for not the largest financial reward.
No.
So why do you do it? What drives you? What keeps you going?
Well, this is the food business, right? This is the food business. It's, I don't think anyone goes to the food business thinking they're gonna get rich. Okay, some do, but I don't think it's something that they knew was gonna happen.
So it's more of an internal passion for it.
You have to have passion for food to be in the food business. But if you ask someone why they got into food business, passion, interest is always top three. No one would ever tell you, to make money. It's just very difficult, right? Like I said, if you can have 10% profit at the end of the day, you're doing well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's long hours.
Long hours. Yeah. We're doing at least 10 hours a day at least.
Yeah, that's just what you do at the shop. I'm sure at home you're still crunching the numbers and strategizing and solving problems.
If you add in the off hours, like at home hours that you spend working on the business, is well past 12 hours a day. Yeah, well past.
Wow, respect to you, man. That's amazing. So you've been in business, in various businesses in this industry for a while. If you could have had started this one over, what would you do differently? Which would also include what advice would you give to someone thinking of kicking off a business like this?
I don't think I would have done anything differently, even with what I know right now. I mean, what I knew then, what I know now is not much different. It's still the same goals and same philosophy. If food business can be really challenging, but yet very simple. Simple, what does that mean by very challenging and very simple? If you have other agendas, if you're operating a food business in a different manner, okay, like a lot of these franchises they do, right? It's not so much based on the food itself, it's based on other business strategies, right? But if a noodle shop wanted to be profitable selling noodles off, like a street vendor, it's not complicated. That person, that business owner, that noodle maker would just have to make the noodle consistent every day. Same quality, same flavor, same everything. That noodle maker will not fail. And that itself is very simple, right? I think the same philosophy goes for all food business. It's just that some takes longer to build that reputation. And some people don't make it before they manage to get that reputation. Right? There's a lot of good food businesses out there. It's just they're hidden gems. That's where marketing comes in. And getting more people to know about your business. In Chinese, it's like 井底之蛙. It's like you're a frog in the well. Where all you see is, when you look up, you see the sky, and the frog thinks that's everything.
That's the world,
That's the world, right? It's very easy to get caught up in that, especially when you are somewhat famous for what you do. So
branding is quite important in the baking industry, for bakeries, because that's how people
identity.
Exactly. I mean, you just want to say one word or the name of a shop and people will go, that's the best cinnamon.
Right. They come here for a purpose. That's what I'm saying. It's not for convenient reasons. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I think that's having an identity is very important. Right, the brand identity for us, Feed the Wife, is now becoming, it has become cinnamon roll. Right, and we want to branch out of that, and that's another challenge. You want to diversify, right?
To boil everything quickly down into, what are the 3 magic ingredients that makes a secret sauce for the success of a bakery?
What I believe in is you can't be cheap with your ingredients. Okay.
Gotcha.
You gotta really put out good food. Okay. Quality food, good ingredients. That will be one aspect. Okay. You cannot skimp. Second, I would say you would need to have something that people can remember you by. Okay. So some people would say your star product. A star product. For us, it would be the cinnamon roll.
Got it.
Because you have to be known for something. And lastly, I think you have to create, I would say, a vibe, a culture of your bakery. Okay, so for us, it's a American European bakery. That's very important because that's your theme. That's what you sell. That's what you should be good at, right? So everything you sell and any additional product you add on must surround that theme. And as long as you do that enough, stick to your theme, you'll be known for it.
Yeah, folks, you better listen because that's very valuable. Don't just always go with exactly what your immediate market demands, but think in the longer term, sticking to your guns, sticking to your principles and what you want. You're doing very well. Respect to you, your wife, and everyone involved here, Jack. It's amazing. It's great to see you. You know, the business developing and growing and going so fast, and you're very active, you know, in the shop and online.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, keep it up.
Thank you.
And keep on growing. So what's the future for Feed the Wife?
Well, future for Feed the Wife in the very near future, which is coming up in December. I mean, right now we're launching apple pie, American apple pie. So double crust, filled with moist apples inside.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Wish you only the best and the most success out of it, and pleasure, of course.
Thank you.
And thank you for the pleasure that you're bringing to everyone. I'm definitely diving into my.
There's a chocolate croissant.
Oh, nice! Look at that one.
Yeah.
I'm definitely diving into that now. And thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And yeah, go all the way, man.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks so much.
Bye.